Alrighty, we are live from Columbus, OH, and this is the Ramsey Show Aftershow show. As I wait for YouTube to catch up. And that doesn't sound loud enough. Oh, wait, it might be. And let's see. Testing, testing, testing. No, that's still a little low. Let me kick up the volume, and of course they start weed eating right outside. Excellent, good timing on that. Filters, gain, extra, test. Okay, that ought to do it. Extra, test. There we go. And so that's awesome. Alrighty. So we do have the good sound worked out. And unfortunately, no way to really do that because I can't just go by the level in the streaming software. Because sometimes it'll still be too light, too low. Where was I? Oh yeah, hey, this is the Ramsey Show Aftershow show. I'm Coach Steve Money. I'm Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach, and you're watching this on YouTube.com/Coach Steve Money, and you can find my financial content past the Oak Island and Skinwalker Ranch playlists, and you'll see the Ramsey Show Aftershow show playlist. Today is show number 569, so definitely a back catalog of that. So if you need to hear me talking about finances, there's just hours and hours and hours of it. Also the Answering Your Financial Questions playlist, and that is an 8 p.m. stream. And that I could do, of course, at night or on weekends. When I can't do the after show on weekdays, I can't do the after show because of work. I will generally do an 8 p.m. stream, and right below that, the music playlist contains 12 Ramsey adjacent songs, such as, let's see, what would be a good one to do? Lifestyle Creep. Instead be a widow. Why the heck are you in debt? And so, of course, all of these that I sing in preview for you sound much better with the music. So listen to those, check them out if you're so inclined. And you might make a little bit of money, extra money for me, and almost in all cases you make a little bit of extra money for the original artist. Market report, and any day where it's all green is a good day. Nasdaq, I think the past 2 days hit new highs. So again, you cannot be upset about that. The Russell Small Cap Index, I believe, was 2% down yesterday, something like that. Oh, let's take a look. Yeah, past 5 days. Yeah, so took a little tumble. Oh, and then came back today. So there you go. So that's your 1 day change for all you day traders there. Not recommended. Let's see what the rest of the planet is doing. Europe, everything up as well. Asia mostly down, and the US dollar, let's see, that's the euro winning there, the yen winning there, the British pound love winning there, the US dollar up over the Canadian dollar, sorry, but Australia might, nar. They're up against the US dollar today, but not a clean sweep because Canada couldn't make that clean sweep happen there. And what else do we want to do? We want to see who's coming up as far as earnings reports. Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, PepsiCo, General Electric, Netflix, and of course the Procter and Gamble. And there has been some banking. I thought I saw somewhere in here where, unless it changed it, thought there was some banking, and I saw something about banking. Text slide. I thought I saw something about some good bank news, something like that, but I don't know off the top of my head where it is. Top single stocks, of course, not recommended. Single stocks on their own by Mr. Ramsey, but the single stocks are what would be in your managed mutual funds for retirement. Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, and no, not Tesla. Tesla not down. Tesla up 3%. So kind of a mixed bag there. Seems like it evens out, if anything, and that's why you do have your balance and diversity and do mutual funds and to do the managed ones, and then that way you are diversified so that they do balance each other out. You're not too heavily in one sector or in one particular stock, that kind of thing. All right, got one article from CNBC. What does that say right there? EU proposes raising defense funding in $2 trillion not dollar, 2 trillion euro budget. And now they've moved that way. Move around to the front of the apartment with the weed eating. Hopefully they're taking out some of the bush, because the bush was starting to grow over my window and infringing, I guess, upon my sidewalk as well. So unless they cut it back, I'll try to remember to get a picture of that. Like you guys care. Wholesale inflation measure was unchanged in June, so it not going up any. That would say, well, let's read the key points. Producer price index, a measure of wholesale costs, showed no change for June against the forecast for a 0.2% increase. The same was true for the core PPI, producer price index. Though the numbers for headline and core wholesale inflation were subdued, final demand goods prices rose 0.3%, okay, but were offset by a 0.1% fall in services, okay, but that's still a deficit of 0.2%. Not that much, but still some. Combined with Tuesday's consumer price index release, the data suggests that President Donald Trump tariffs are indicating only a marginal bite on the U.S. economy. Oh, imagine that. It wasn't something that the sitting president did, okay? No matter which side of the aisle, no matter what color the tie is, something the sitting president did not affect your life that much. Imagine that. Let's get into some questions. Is this the right one? Did I even go to the right one? I think I did. I thought I... No, I must not have finished locating it. Okay, I did that one yesterday. Okay, so here's where we are. This... No, the little Tostartes. The little Dastartes. I don't know what that is. Help understanding, explaining how the baby steps financial freedom. Okay. Need help understanding and explaining your English skills there, but maybe not the first language for this person. So let's see. Need help explaining how the baby steps financial freedom plan works, maybe would be how you finish that, and then that would make sense. Let's see. Hi there. So my 30-man wife, 29 female, and I are starting baby step 1. Okay, great. It has been a slog to get my wife to agree to even attempt any of this. Okay, well, that's going to happen. But see, that is more of an issue for you than you understanding the baby steps financial freedom. Because you really can't do it on your own. Oh, but she has finally agreed. Okay, great. Maybe it'll work out. The problem I am having right now is we are a large family and generally don't carry much debt. You shouldn't carry any. That's step 2. So you start with step 1, and that's the $1,000 emergency fund, and you lower any savings you have down to $1,000. If you don't have $1,000 in savings yet, then you get that amount. And you only have that amount. You don't save a penny more than that because all those pennies go to pay off the debt. Just because we can't afford it. Well, great. Saving grace there. Even after we completely erase all our debt, we will be saving around $900 a month with all the cuts we are making to fund the debt snowball. Essentially everything we won't immediately die without. Right. And that's what it should be. That's called gazelle intensity, and you should keep that up through baby step 3, the full emergency fund. Trying to yell over the weed eater. Hopefully they'll be done very soon. Bad timing. Or maybe they did it on purpose, you think? Maybe the filter thing is cutting it out. Let me see. Curious. No, it's not, but it's picking up some of it anyway. All right. And they stop and you think they'll be done, but then no, they're not done. I knew it was going to start up again. Where were we on this? Oh, it won't immediately die without. Yeah. Stay gazelle intense through baby step 3, which is the full emergency fund. I have a very good job, but my wife can't work because of medical reasons and instead raises our children. And my hours are crazy enough that a side hustle isn't really feasible unless I never see my family or never sleep. Okay, and people love to do, I get it, I understand if you're working a lot now as far as working more, but people tend to exaggerate their little situations about this, so isn't really feasible unless I never see my family or never sleep. See, they turn in, I'll be losing a little bit of sleep. I'll be losing some sleep. They turn that into, I'll never see my family. I'll never sleep. So calling BS on that. So, I mean, it may actually be very difficult. Depends on how many hours you're working in your full-time job. But unless I never see my family or sleep, justification station for not working extra. So my wife's question and mine to a lesser extent is how this is going to bring up our quality of life in the future, because you won't have debt. You won't be making those debt payments, so you can use that money for other things. Beyond having savings and retirement planning, is there any hard way it can boost our quality of life? As far as what? The baby steps aren't there, especially in the early going, for you to have a good time. It's to improve your finances. Oh, I forget which one. Fans are good. Yeah, not so you can have a good time. That's not what the baby steps are for. It's for you to have a good time later on in the baby steps, like, when you're retired, when you are, first past baby step 3, and then later past baby step 6 into baby step 7, that's when the real fun times start. But your finances are better overall because you don't have any debt at all. And so quality of life, and again, see, this stuff is so subjective. As I said, it's like, kind of like the doomsday people talk, the doom talk, and they exaggerate just so much. But I'll never see my family. Wah. Okay, great. You know what? If you hardly see them, 1 or 2 weeks out of the month, that's worth it to get ahead on your finances. And if you don't think so, well, then you don't have to do it. So it's not, everybody, a lot of people ask about that, about quality of life. It's dumb as crap. And also, enjoying the now and all that stuff. Yeah, that's how you got into the stuff. That's how you got to a situation where you Googled pay off debt or something that brought you into the world of Ramsey, because it came up on a Google search or something like that, because you found that your debt was a problem. And so Mr. Ramsey will fix that problem if you follow his advice. He's not actually doing it. He's just giving you the advice. You're the one that actually has to do it. And you got to get over yourself about your little quality of life crap. And you don't need to type quality of life 1,800 times in here. This is just 2 so far, but still excessive. I know investments are mentioned, but I've always had a hard time wrapping my mind around the usefulness of them. Well, it's using your money to make other money, like interest. I don't know what you don't understand about that. I can't pay bills with them, so how are they practical in building wealth? You can pay bills with them. If it's retirement investing, you pay the bills that you have in retirement with them. Let's see. So how are they practical in building wealth? That's how, because they do pay for the stuff in retirement when you hopefully, by that time, you won't have to work and you'll be able to see your family ever and sleep some. Thanks for any help. I fully intend to commit to the baby steps even if I don't fully understand them. Well, I would try to fully understand them first. I don't know how you can't understand them because they're very simple. Dave uses very simple words on purpose in his advice. And so you're just trying to boost quality of life, and you're worried about right now as opposed to the future. And just in general, getting your finances in better shape. That is the important thing here. And even more so important than, again, never see my family or sleep. You can, if you get an extra job, you can still see your family sometimes, and maybe not as much, sure, but it's worth it, and it's only for a short time. So you're nutty. Quit being nutty. Quit exaggerating. People love to exaggerate all the time the situation. And I don't know, the situation might already be working overtime. And if that's the case, that's probably time and a half. So that would probably, you don't want to cut out the overtime and then work part-time somewhere else. So, I don't know the exact situation, but just people in general, they're dumb like this, and they exaggerate. And so I don't like to give them the benefit of the doubt most of the time. Maybe done now. Let's see. Um, and explaining how the baby steps financial freedom. All right. But yeah, so here's why it won't here's why it won't immediately improve your quality of life, because your quality of life apparently requires money to do, right? And on baby step one, what you're doing with money is saving up the $1,000. What you're doing on baby step two is paying off your dumbass debt. And you're doing that instead of having quality of life. And so if you're not down with that, just do the same dumb crap you've been doing. And shut up about it. Mr. Ramsey tried to give you a plan about it, but nope. Nope, you want to exaggerate and other stuff. So again, don't know the person's situation. It might be different than what I think it is, but I just assume pretty much the worst about everybody, just because my experience with people has led me to that. And the overall thing about most people won't follow Dave's advice because of the sacrifices it takes. Yes, and that means maybe not seeing your family for a little while or having less sleep. You'll live. And your finances will be better, so it's worth it. Quit being dumb. Melodramatic. Speaking of melodramatic, Whisker. How much debt have you paid off this month? I have not paid any debt off this month because I have not had any in, 15 years now? Something like that. Fun. It's fun times. Trust me. And hey, guess what? I lost out on some sleep. And I didn't get to see my family as much because I was working extra. Guess what? Everybody lived. Everybody's happy. Shut up. It's only the 9th day of the month. I already dumped $1,000 into my debt. Great. Now down to the last 3K I owe, and I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm working my tail off to get it all paid by next month. Great. Baby step 2. And see, that's how you do it. The more money you put to it, the sooner it will be over, and you'll have your full emergency fund, and then you don't have to be as gazelle, and you can have more quality of life, as you call it. What up, Trey? Prepare for the worst and hope for the best. That's right, Trey. And I just find it best to assume that most people are going to be normal, and they're going to exaggerate, and they're going to not want to do the plan. They're going to try to find ways to get around it and justify it. Like the young lady did in the Ramsey Show chat today. She's like, how come I can't get an $80,000 loan for a pool, but I can go buy a newer house, a bigger house with a pool on it? Why can I do that? The idea is that you don't do that. You don't upgrade the house or remodel it or anything like that until you have paid off the house, because that is more important than you upgrading that and having that pool or a bigger house for quality of life. That would be more of that stuff. And so you don't get to justify it because you want it now. That's not how it works. What we try to do is be adults, and you delay gratification. Should I sell my old video? Asperger's are us 87. It's been a while, but this person has posted in here frequently, and we're on reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey. Should I sell my old vehicle for something newer with better gas mileage? What would Dave Ramsey do? I have an old pickup truck that is over 19 years old. I don't feel like, for me, putting any more money into it besides oil changes. It passed inspection, and 2 mechanics looked it over this year and said it's mechanically fine. Do I sell this truck to get something? They said it's mechanically fine. You've had it checked out by them. They said it's fine. Why make up a problem that may or may not happen? And nobody knows that. Not even the mechanic doesn't know if part A or part B is going to break within the next week, or if ever. Do I sell the truck to get something newer with better gas mileage? No, this is the same thing about like cashing out all of your investments in retirement because you see some dumb crap on the news. That's you're doomsday prepping in your mind here, and you're trying to do and people, trust me, sometimes people do have, despite me thinking the worst of people generally, people do have good intentions. They are trying to like minimize expenses in the future, but you don't know. You have no idea what would be better. Any new to you car that's a newer one, a newer vehicle that you would buy instead of having the truck anymore. You don't know which one of those would be more trouble and cost more money. You do not know that. And there's no way to tell that ever. Now, generally, a newer car might have fewer problems, but not always. And that's the problem. My new job entails driving more. I could possibly get 10 to 12K for this vehicle and use it towards a Camry, Corolla, Civic. Excuse me. Problem is, in my area, these used cars go for 10 to 15K with rebuilt salvage titles and have way more miles than I have on my truck. What is your suggestion? My mechanic said keep what I got. I'm going to go with the mechanic. Maybe step 5. Flare there. So you do have an emergency fund, so if it just goes out, you do have the emergency fund that you can replace the vehicle with if you need to at any time. And it might not be with the exact vehicle that you want, but I'm assuming your full emergency fund would be more than 10 to 12K. So people do a lot of, and myself, I'm an overthinker, of course, and this is how I can recognize it. People do a lot of, I just don't have much patience for it when it comes to the baby, when people try to overthink the baby steps, and just try to plan out for the future, and especially things like cars, where again you don't know if the truck will end up having more expenses with it or some other vehicle that you buy would have more. You never know. If what you've got has passed, you said 2 mechanics, how about you listen to the experts on that then? And at that point, you've done as best you can. Even the experts don't know for sure, though. They can just say what it looks like to them at this current moment. The guy with the truck is stuck in his feelings. People are dumb. That's true. That's true. That's true. People do be in their feelings. And then the feelings try to start replacing facts, such as in such situations as, how did that happen? Because it's an ad. Haha. That's why. Like this one, where the person, exaggerated about the quality of life and never seeing family and never sleeping, and somehow see that those feelings about that replaces the actual facts of the situation, which it often is not that much time you lose with family, and that not that much sleep you lose either. How to help my mom who's terrible with money? Well, the best thing you can do is be a good example. That's going to be the best thing for parents and kids. But a lot of times, Dave will tell you that someone that has powdered your butt and changed your diaper doesn't want to hear anything from you about money or sex. Let's see. I've been following the Ramsey financial style my entire life and have a comfortable life now as an adult. Great. And so I would think that would be being a good example. Meanwhile, my divorced, disabled mother has terrible spending habit. Be glad you didn't inherit those, or you overcame them if you did. She paid for and receives supplementary disability insurance. Okay. And if she were to stay on a budget, would be perfectly comfortable with the income she brings in. Well, you see, so if you're an adult and you manage to stay on a budget, that means she can too. Unless she has something mentally wrong with her, and in that case, you do need counseling, a psychiatrist or something like that. But most times, it doesn't go that deep, and people just want things now. And so they just do it, often going into debt. And so, let's read the rest. Perfectly comfortable with income she brings in. That said, she doesn't budget, right? And that's the most often. That's most often the reason why people don't stick to their budget, because there's not one. First, there has to be one. Intentionality, right? Constantly runs into emergencies that she can't afford. Over the years, I've tried everything you can think of to help. It started simply talking with her, then with getting her baby steps millionaire, then finally paying for Financial Peace University. She has a spending app that she can use to track her finances. I think at some point you got to go like this and get on with your life. You continue to be a good example because you're still doing all the good things. But, I don't know what you can do. She was presented the information in Financial Peace University. She's apparently not interested in it. And again, if it's some kind of mental block, then she needs a psychiatrist. And I've helped her as much as I can to cut her budget, but she can't seem to figure it out. Well, can't figure it out, it doesn't want to figure it out. This recent time I decided to sit and have a long, I always hate that. I hate it, always. I've talked about this before, where people say, well, you sit down and you work it out. No, you can talk about financial matters standing up as well. This whole sitting down thing is nuts. Although people do, often sit down in meetings and stuff, I get that. But when people say you just sit down and blah, 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 you don't have to sit down. The important thing is to do the budget, whether you're sitting or standing, not the sitting down, but people stress the sitting down. I did that already. This most recent time I decided to sit and have a long serious talk with her. I told her that I was going to pay off all of her debt. That's just enabling. You're just enabling her. Get her current on all of her utilities and fund her emergency account. The catch was that it would be the very last time I gave her any money. It's always considered a gift. There was never any expectation that she paid it back. Well, less than 6 months after this arrangement, hey, guess what? You saying that this is going to happen doesn't mean it's an arrangement. That means it's just something you did, and she probably didn't yell too much about it at the time because it helped her out. She didn't agree to any of it, probably. She called to let me know they were shutting off her electricity, and with all the debt, so with all the debt gone, current on her utilities, and a fully funded emergency fund, she just had more money to spend because she doesn't budget. So you did the wrong order, and I wouldn't have done that. I would have advised to not do that because she has not shown any indication that something would happen differently than the exact way it did. She explained that she really wanted to have a nice day with her friends, so they went to lunch, went to get massages, got their hair and nails done, and went to dinner. She thought she had the money reserved for her bills, but things got carried away. Yeah, and that again is not budgeting. And, I get it if it's like one, if she's a nice day with her friends, going to lunch, but then if the friends all want to get massages and then hair and nails done too, and then to dinner after that, so that's a whole day. You only had lunch in your budget, so guess what you do? You bounce after the lunch then. You do not have to stay with them, but she probably wanted to do that stuff, and so just did it. And thinking she had money reserved, she can't be trusted with that, obviously. I'm livid right now. It's your own dumbass fault. You're dumber than she is at this point for doing that. I would not have recommended that because here's what you did. You enabled her to do more dumb stuff with money. You enabled her to have extra money, and she spent that and then overspent on top of it. Live right now and don't know what to do. I gave an amazing, generous gift. You did. It was dumb as crap, but you did. With the ultimatum that I wasn't going to do it again. So don't do it again then, or you're a liar too. Now I'm sitting here at work with full knowledge that she's at home with no power and no AC, and it's making me sick to my stomach. Hey man, my name is Paul, and that's between y'all, meaning this young lady and her conscience. What can I do differently? Well, it's too late now. You can't go back in time and change it, but you can stick to your guns and not help her with anything else. If it's a situation where it's so hot, that there might be a health thing going on. Maybe you pay the electric, but at some point you got to stop because it's always going to be something with this lady. I've done everything I can think of to help her. Yeah, I would be done. You should have already been done before this 6 month ago thing. But she won't help herself. That much is certain. I can't stand to think that she's suffering, but I need to stay firm in my demand that she keeps to her budget. Yeah. I don't have a problem with that. As long as I don't care if she's hot there. I don't care if she's uncomfortable. It would be only if it's so hot that it's a health issue. Other than that, she can be hot. She brought it on herself. There needs to be repercussions to you being a dumbass to implore you to stop being a dumbass. Teach me how to Dougie. Okay, I don't know any dances except the white man overbite. That's the only one I know. Should I get a part-time job? I'm wondering if I should get maybe another job to make some extra money and grow savings more. Maybe work an extra 20, 25 hours per week. Yes. Why not? I currently work a salary full-time, 40-hour per week job. I did that in baby step 3, with my commute being 20 minutes each way. My fiance works from Raising, Arizona. Works 50 hours a week in the heat and has 1.5 hour long commute both ways, so he can't work an extra part-time job. Indeed, that sounds horrible. I complain about my so it's 3 hours. You got to consider moving 3 hours to that job is what I would consider. That's crazy. So that's 3 hours a day in the vehicle, and I complain about 50 minutes in the vehicle. But I'm going to fix it. I'm going to move closer to my job. We have combined finances. I know Dave hates that, but we've been together 7 years. It doesn't matter. You're still a dumbass for doing that and are getting married in 8 months. Then you combine your finances and live together and all that stuff after you get married. Or you can get married right now at the Justice of the Peace. People are so dumb about that stuff. After all expenses with our budget, we can save $2,000 each per month. We don't have any debt, but are paying for the wedding as we go and can afford things cash. Our current savings are only $2,000. Yeah, no need to read the rest of it because it's just savings, so it's not. I mean, it could be emergency fund. So an emergency fund, hey, guess what? Emergency fund comes before wedding savings. Imagine that. Let's see. Traded by the mom, thought she had the money. She knew she couldn't afford it, but figured she could try to ship money from elsewhere or that her child would cover the shortcomings. True. Or just some people are so nutty that they don't even put even that much thought into it. Cisco, but yeah, get a part-time job. More money, more income coming in would seem to make your financial plan better, make your finances better, but you're already doing it wrong by probably shacking up and combining finances when you're not married. So I don't know what to tell you on that. Do whatever you want to do, just like you're doing with the combining the finances. You did that fine without. So why do you care about anybody's opinion about whether you should get a part-time job or not? Why don't you decide? Another reason to pay off the mortgage, and this got locked. This discussion on another subreddit, not clicking on it, reminded me of something I seen on the news a while back. Sleepy. There was a natural disaster. Speaking of days off, there was a natural disaster somewhere. There definitely was. People's houses were gone, and the mortgage companies took the insurance payout, so folks could not rebuild. I had a paid-off house, and had something like that happen on a much smaller scale. I guess I hadn't reported to my insurance that my house was paid off, so when I made a claim, they wrote the check out to me and the bank. Yep, you kind of got to let the insurance know about that, I guess. So I know there is a lot of debate on whether or not to pay off your house, but this bank insurance thing is one. Check for the payoff side, and if you do pay it off, be sure to let your insurance know. Yes, but not really in the context. It's not really in the same context. It's related because it's mortgage, but it's not really the same thing, I don't think. Status unknown, financially dumb, need input. You are in luck. My specialty is dumb people. Whoa, that's not very good. Please work this time. I would like the rest of the question to show up. There we go. It worked this time. Weird. Financially dumb, need input. Hello, who's this? Oh, status unknown, yeah. Quick question. I'm reaching out to this group for input on what to do about my little situation. Well, you would follow the Ramsey advice in general, and in specific, the baby step. I just recently bought a used Tesla. Probably shouldn't have done that, so probably sell that. Other vehicle's a truck and not gas efficient and can't sell it. Thinking I would push every month to Uber and make $1,500 a month on top of my full-time job. Yeah, if you can get that much business, which is not guaranteed, you're being a dumbass by even thinking about that. By even assuming I can make $1,500. What is this based on? Where'd you pull that number out of? Out of your butt? That was said on the Ramsey show one time because a lady really, really wanted to start a business, and I believe she was going to take out a loan to do it. And she was spouting numbers, and Dave asked where the numbers came from, and she said, out of my butt. And so that was a good laugh for Rachel and Dave that day. And yeah, but people do start making up dumb crap when they want to justify some dumb stuff they're doing, like taking out a business loan. To pay it off and my other debts as soon as possible. So you see, we don't buy a used Tesla. Now, is this Tesla better not be, because this is recent, right? And you are dumb as crap if you have started the baby steps and then you finance a Tesla and you already have a truck. So then yes, you are really dumb and you probably need more help than I can provide. And then the plan was to continue Uber once my debts were gone to help fund retirement. I feel like, for me, like I bit off more than I could chew and ran numbers multiple different ways and want y'all's input on the below breakdown. Yes, sell the Tesla. You should have never bought in it. And part of the Ramsey advice, which is, it kind of goes under the radar. You got the baby steps here, and it's pay off all debt, all non-mortgage debt is step 2. And so some people, though, just keep all their dumb crap they bought, and it makes them take forever to pay it off. And if all of your stuff takes longer than 3 years, you should definitely be selling cars and moving down in housing and that kind of stuff, because step 2 should take a maximum of 3 years. So what you can do here is you can undo the dumb crap you did before you started following the Ramsey program, the Ramsey advice. And in this person's case, it sounds like he was doing the Ramsey advice already, but then still bought the stupid ass vehicle. And you would not buy a secondary vehicle, even if it is in cash, while you have a truck that runs and you have non-mortgage debt to pay off. The debt would be where you put all the money. And so the guy was justification station here with the Tesla. I'm gonna Uber. Yeah, so you were dumb as crap, so undo it. Sell the Tesla, but I would have to get a loan for $7,291 to cover the negative equity. No, I have no cash. Negative equity? There's negative equity. So, yes, financed it. If that was recent and you were already following the Ramsey advice, you are the dumbest person in the world. Congratulations. If it was before and that caused you to, that led you to Dave, well, you're certainly in the right place. And again, I just recently, I hate it when people lie, when they say the wrong information. Just recently bought it. So you recently bought it and it's already $7,291. Did you have some other bull crap vehicle that you rolled in negative equity in there? Because that was the dumbest crap you can do as well. Keep the Tesla and do Uber in hopes that I will. That's a no. That's a no. Doing Uber in addition to my full-time job takes away a lot of my time. Yeah, your quality of life doesn't exist in that case, which might lead you to not do it as much as you need to or as much as you thought you were. So quit lying to yourself about the Uber thing. Cash flow, if only my full-time job, no Uber, and keep the Tesla. We're not doing that. That's not even an option, so I don't give a crap about that. If I sell my thought is swallow my pride, sell the Tesla, pay the debts off within a year. Yes, and have more personal time versus hustling for 2, maybe 3 years to pay off all the debts and then still have a high insurance payment after all of that and maintenance. And so what I would say is not to Uber, but you do that and you get a secondary job regardless. Get a part-time job. Have some other money coming in a way that doesn't require you to spend money, such as working retail or something like that. Even if it's just on the weekends, all extra money comes in handy because you can pay off the debt faster. I just feel like I don't give a crap about your feelings. I don't give a crap about your feelings. This is about your finances, right? What are your feelings about your finances? Anyway, I just feel like for me, selling the Tesla will instantly increase my cash flow. It will, because you won't have to pay the payment anymore and you won't owe that debt anymore. That I can snowball the $7,291. Should be paid in 3 months. Great. And then have more money to work for me and have more time back. Thanks in advance for it. Yeah. Undo the dumb crap you did before you found Dave, and you should know that financing the vehicle would have never been the advice. So yes, you were dumb for doing it. Hopefully you'll get smarter now. He was doing the Ramsey plan and completely forgot about it and thought he had a brilliant idea that trumped the Ramsey plan. That's right, because people will start. He saw a Tesla, wanted the Tesla, started looking for ways to justify it, etc., etc. He overpaid, and electric vehicles depreciate pretty fast, is what Trey is saying. Okay, so it could be that. Could also be the negative equity thing that I suggested. Who knows? Either way, dumb as crap to buy that. And if he was following the Ramsey advice, so in step 0 is where you decide you're going to pay off your dumbass debt in step 2, and you're not going to do any more debt. So it's like you can't do step 1 and then start on step 2 and then think, oh, here's a justified reason to finance a freaking second car. People are nutty. Weary procedure, $86.99, high yield savings. Hi everyone, I've been listening to Dave Ramsey recently and always hear him speak about high yield savings account. What banks does he recommend doing this with? What do any of you recommend you have done for these accounts? Thank you. Sleepy. So sorry. They work with a couple of banks. I think, what is it, Laurel Road? And I think there's another one. But you can just go to bankrate.com and look for an online one. You might want to stick with a name, a financial name you've heard of before, that kind of thing. My pal Sid has high yield savings at Ally Bank, so that would be something. But they're all probably going to be about the same rate. It's probably not going to be too much different, where one is magical for some reason and the others aren't. Nuovo Ramsey Babino. Okay. He's new Ramsey baby. His advice on buying a new house after getting a raise, that would be no. Because guess what? You remember how you were making one amount and then things changed because you got the raise? Guess what? You could also get a pay cut. Those exist. You could also get fired, laid off, or any kind of thing that could happen there. So when you get a raise, you don't say immediately, oh, how can I spend this money? That's dumb as crap. And this person has been posting on here for years, so you ought to darn well know better. So basically, you're a dumbass for even typing it. I feel like I've heard Dave talk about waiting a year to make a big purchase after getting a raise or a promotion. I don't recall anything about that, but that sounds great, or even longer than a year. See, upgrading house is not all. Everybody says they need a larger house, but guess what? How often do they really need it? Not that much. It's just something people want to do, or they want a pool or something like that. Am I just imagining that? I don't know. I don't know. I've heard a lot of Ramsey. I've never heard him say that I recall. Anyway, he has talked about waiting a year after your spouse passes before you make any big financial decisions. You just dump all the insurance money, into a high yield savings account, and so that way you can grieve for a while and you don't have to make those decisions right then. So he has said that, but I don't know about the Razer promotion thing. And buying a house after just changing jobs is risky. Did he change jobs, or did he just get the raise? The Razer promotion. Oh, and you know what? This might have not even been an actual situation. This might just be a thought experiment, which I love those. I'm being sarcastic. I hate those when people, how about, I think there's enough going on where in the real life we have issues here with money, so we don't have to think about things that haven't happened. And let's imagine all the scenarios. No, we don't have to do that. Anyway, I just started a new job. Oh, new job came with a big salary bump. Okay. So Trey is reading ahead. No, Trey, you got it. Well, you were right regardless. But yeah, it does say I just started a new job, and I didn't get that far because I answer the questions before I get done, because I already know the answer always. There's been a couple times where in the last line of it, they typed something that changed everything, but that doesn't happen often enough to worry about. We've been thinking about moving into a bigger house. Why? But I keep recalling Dave saying on a call to wait a year after something like this happens. Yeah, why not? Yeah, do that. Wait, I got a great idea. Another thing, don't even do it at all. You don't have to get a bigger house all the time because you start making more money. Because you start making more money, you don't have to spend more money. That's not a law. Alrighty. Let's see what the next one is. Low interest loans, and that's a no. Let's see. Rhythm and time. One, low interest loans. Been listening to Dave Ramsey stuff lately, and I've found a lot of it interesting and helpful. However, I'm a bit perplexed by his take that loans are always bad and should always be paid back as quickly as possible. He's right, you're wrong, you're a dumbass. If you want to debt leverage, knock yourself out, but then why are you on the Dave Ramsey subreddit? Why are you trying to, people always, it's like they're offended by the Ramsey, but, well, I'm just trying to understand why it's debt versus no debt. It's not something to understand. If you don't understand the difference between not having any debt and having debt and using debt leverage, which is what this low interest loan stuff is, and having loans, this is what a lot of people don't know what debt leverage is. It's having loans so that you can spend the cash on something else that you want. That's debt leverage. Because you're leveraging the debt to get the thing that you want instead of paying off the debt. So you're a dumbass. Just do your dumbass stuff and don't worry about what Mr. Ramsey says. Most people won't follow his advice. So you don't have to wring your head over, oh, I don't understand how my thing that I think, how does that work with the Dave thing? It doesn't matter. Your little stuff doesn't matter. If you want to do dumbass stuff, go ahead and do it. A lot of people take out loans. It's not advised. It's not ever going to be advised. And your debt leveraging crap is not justification station for it. So there you go. He's not explaining if there's a need for a bigger house. Yep, they kind of don't do that. Or it's major justification station thing. Or, some people will, some people have said on posts in this subreddit, they have said, we just had one baby and we're thinking about having many more. You do not need to upgrade a house for one baby and thinking about having many more. Because that may never happen. So stop being dumb. It's the same oh, we got one baby. Oh my gosh. We better get a brand new SUV to safely transport the baby in. Babies can be safely transported in compact cars. Guess what? My babies are in their 20s now. They lived through compact cars. Still alive. They're doing great. So guess what? You just want one. You just think you're doing it. A lot of people think that, oh, it's for the baby. And all that's bullcrap. All that is bullcrap. I understand it's nice to do stuff for your babies. I did nice stuff for my babies too, but it didn't involve any loans or buying a freaking new vehicle. So dumb, so dumb. Oh, let's see what Trey has to say in life. Don't upgrade in house until there's a need, like more than 2 kids per bedroom. Yeah, because kids can share a bedroom if relatively close in age. Yes, they can, Trey. Imagine that. But no, see, people don't want to do that. They get little things in their mind about how life should work or whatever. Or, again, it's just because they want it. And because they want to provide for the kids. Not even that. Some of it, sometimes, it's just using the kid or kids as justification to do dumb crap they want to do. How many times do we hear, both male and female calling up the Ramsey show and say, well, we've got a kid, or we've got 2 kids and we needed it. Needed? People are down. Alrighty. Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And if you, yes, you are having financial issues, or just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation / assessment with me by emailing me, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. It's right there. I used to do a website, pain to update constantly, schedule changes sometimes at the last minute. Just can't do that anymore. So we will work it out via email, and we will make it happen. You can use that email address also for anything regarding my YouTube channel or any of my financial content. Donations can go to paypal.me/CoachSteveMoney or CashApp $CoachSteveMoney, or Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com. That same email address. Upcoming streams. Let's see here. I did not update this, but it should have the story for the rest of the week. Ramsey Show, Aftershow show. Today is the only one this week, I believe, because I skipped the Monday one, and today is Wednesday, and so yeah, that's it for this week. No more after shows. There will be some 8 p.m. streams though, and that's the Answering Your Financial Questions streams, 8 p.m. Eastern. I did one yesterday, last night, and one will be tomorrow night, Thursday, but then I guess nothing Friday. Or Saturday or Sunday, I think. I think the weekend I'm booked up as well with working. No, actually, there should be one Sunday night, because I'm usually off on Sundays. I'm always off on Sundays, pretty much. Always, pretty much. Anyway, so that's a contradiction. Alrighty. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day.